Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. Happy Friday. It is Comics from the Future Day. We are super excited to have you here with us as we preview some cool new upcoming series and cool variants and just lots of other stuff that we know you're going to want to add to your pull list. In case you don't know, my name is Megan.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Jason. We're with infinityfluxcomics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. You know, I have to say, it's another light week for DC.
Mm-hmm.
After last week, they didn't have anything because of the holiday. They did like a double week 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Here it is. You expect they'd have a lot, but it's like pretty light.
Yeah.
So, luckily, other things.
You just wait. It's going to hit hard, especially when all the Dark Crisis stuff comes. Maybe they're like...
I think Batman's on vacation.
Oh, yeah. That's
taking a summer vacation.
It gets really hot in that cave. He has to get out.
You know, we started one screen too early there.
Well, before we begin, please take a second to subscribe to our YouTube channel and go check us out on Instagram, whatnot, and all that other good stuff. If you missed last week's FOC video, we actually had a special guest on. We had comics with Bueller himself in his van as he's touring every comic shop in the U.S. We were one of his stops. So go check out that video. We had a cool little interview with him at the end. And let's get into today's show.
All right, so of course we're going to start out with the featured comics.
Which there is one featured DC this week, and that is DC versus Vampires Killers. So this is a lot like, what was it, Hunters? DC versus Vampires Hunters, the one with Robin, with Damian on the cover. This one is Killers, and the focus on this, it's just a one-shot, is Harley Quinn. And what is she doing during this big vampire fiasco they're going through? She is kind of the leader of the underground humans fighting against the vampires. So this issue is going to show her teamed up with some of those members who are definitely unlikely members. She does have her good friend Catwoman there, but there's some other ones that... you know, when there's a bigger threat, some heroes and villains have to come together to face that bigger threat, and that's what this is made up of. And she might actually have the cure to this whole vampire disease going around, but of course, it's going to run into a lot of trouble, a lot of the vampires trying to get it away from her, so you have to read it and see. I thought it was a really good issue. I actually got to read it a little bit before doing the video. I thought it was super cool. It's written by Matthew Rosenberg, and the art is by Mike Bowden. So, super cool. But the other really cool thing about this is this variant cover. This is the Brett Booth variant cover.
Just give it to me now.
Yes.
Sign me up on
one
that.
of the, I think, coolest homages that they have done. And Booth is very much not literally a student of McFarlane, but very much... pulls a lot of very similar things from him. So I think this is really cool. If you look at Batman closely, he's a vampire on this.
I wonder if there'll be a way to over-order this one, because when people see it, I mean, everyone's going to want a copy. You know, because McFarlane was sort of channeling the more Dracula side of Batman art, and so now it's being used for a vampire cover. It's perfect.
Cool. It's very cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this second to pass Jason the super secret note. Anyway, this is Public Domain by Chip Zdarsky. This is, actually was originally published on Substack. Remember that, guys, when people were talking all about Substack? Well, guess what? The comics are coming to print, probably sooner than anyone expected. Anyway, written and drawn by Chip Zdarsky. It's his first one that he has fully created since Sex Criminals. So it is about comic book artist Sid Dallas, who has created a superhero called The Domain. And... not 100% sure what this is fully about, but basically it's about fights between creators and corporations. The comic creator who's the subject of this, his sons, are wanting their father to fight for their family legacy, fight for this character they've created. So, what do you know? There's a comic creator writing about a comic creator and their family. Like I said, legacies, and I'm assuming with the title, Public Domain. It's going to have a lot of meta and interesting stuff, as Chip Zdarsky often does. Sounds to be interesting, and just the one cover from Image.
It's almost like a crossover with the kind of taking a step back and looking at the whole industry and the characters and the rights for things.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I should have, when I passed the note, said, everyone guess in the comments, what did that note say? Go right in the comments.
Here comes a bunch of naughty stuff. Yeah, maybe when Zdarsky was writing crossover for that one issue he did, which was a great issue.
Yeah.
He's like, I have an idea. Just started the hamster wheel turning. All right, so from Marvel, it looks like Hellfire Gala might be a yearly thing now.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind at all. I mean, just the character designs, or the costume designs rather, alone is awesome. So this is just going to be a one shot, but it's going to be a triple sized one shot for $7.99. So they're just kind of fitting the whole thing in this. But let's think what happened in the last Hellfire Gala. Last time you had the new X-Men team was chosen, and that's the one that's in the ongoing book now, which was pretty surprising which characters were picked and how they were picked, how it was all sort of influenced. And on top of that, they formed the colony on Mars. They terraformed Mars and created Iraqi. So a lot of stuff happened in the last Hellfire Gala. What will happen in this one?
And the trial of Magneto started when
Scarlet Witch was found dead.
Yep.
But then immediately found back alive soon thereafter. But
didn't say it was all big stuff. Just a lot happened there.
It was a lot happened in the last Hellfire Gala. Hopefully this one will be as eventful. But if for nothing else, I mean, I just want to see what everybody is wearing.
Look at what Magic is wearing. She's like a demon. Like she's wearing a costume on her mouth. That's just a lot.
Okay, of course, there's some great variants with this. Here is the ARTGERM variant. Then we have the DRAGOTTA variant, which, I mean...
It's really funny.
You got to be tough to be dancing, slow dancing with Wolverine with his claws out. And I assume there are other groups around, and they have given them a wide berth.
Also, I like the accurate representation of how tall he is, which is very short.
That's true. And then here is the Gomez variant.
Which is a very interesting team on here, and I don't... This is called, I believe, the promo variant.
Yeah.
But if you look on there, those are characters that we don't really know their current whereabouts. They're not really in any books. So
yeah,
we could be seeing another team form or something.
That is true.
Okay, here is a new one from Image. This is called Sins of the Black Flamingo. So you can already tell by the cover kind of the vibe you're going to get from this. This is set in a cult noir sleazy Miami, like Miami is. But this is about a criminal called the Black Flamingo who is a master thief, a very narcissistic thief, very full of himself, who enjoys stealing mystical artifacts. But they didn't give a whole lot away about this, but as he's going on his biggest heist, I feel like that's how all of the heist stories go, is you got to have your biggest heist. He discovers something he never thought he would, a purpose and meaning to his life, I assume, or what he's doing.
It's a lot deeper than the cover would suggest.
Yes. Yeah. So, sounds really interesting. The art style looks really cool. And I believe there's just the one cover for this one as well.
Next up, we have Dark Spaces WILDFIRE. This is IDW from Scott Snyder and breakout artist Hayden Sherman. This is also a heist story. The setting is during some wildfires that are going on. We're following a sort of cleanup crew, rescue crew. They find out they are nearby a mansion filled with riches. So they decide that they're going to go loot and see what they can find inside under the cover of the smoke and wildfires. So very interesting setting for a heist. I've never heard of anything quite like that. So yeah, this sounds pretty interesting if you are into crime and probably a cool setting. So lots of different covers for this one. We have cover A here, cover B, C. Get a glimpse of our characters a little bit more. Cover D. And cover E, draw your own fire. Just draw that little dog with this. This is fine.
I think this is interesting for Scott Snyder. You know, it makes you wonder, is there going to be some horror element to it at some point? Just because that seems to be his bread and butter. But we'll see. He could be going for a different story.
Smokey the Bear's in it, and this time he wants revenge.
This time it's personal.
All right, so now we're going to get to some other number ones. Starting with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Armageddon game opening moves. Now that's a long title. You hear
It's
that?
so it goes behind the characters. It's so long. It can't even fit on there.
Yes. So this is the prequel to the upcoming major TMNT event that's about to start up, that's going to go for the rest of 2022, where Rat King is sort of the main villain. He's been lurking in the shadows. He has been concocting all kinds of plans. You got to read a little bit of things about that in the free comic book day, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But what's really cool about this is Shredder is no longer the leader of the Foot Clan. He actually is going to be the person trying to stop Rat King. And I do believe he's eventually going to lead the Turtles later into this. I don't think it's in this one. I think this is the setup issue, but that's where it's going. So that's what's going on in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Armageddon game, opening moves, one shot.
Alpha.
I had to take a breath or two there.
Oh, and next up is Transformers: The Beasts. This is actually the best of, as you can tell from the cover art style. This is I'm guessing this has to be one of the last best of Transformers books they're doing. Just knowing about Transformers leaving IDW, but it's cool they squeezed in Beast Wars, not just Optimus Primal, but all of Beast Wars. That's going to, like all the other ones, collect stuff from not even the IDW run, some of the earlier Beast Wars appearances, and some of the recent stuff as well. So don't miss out on this collection.
And then we have Hellboy, a one-shot for Hellboy. Ooh. Hellboy and the BPRD Old Man Whittier one-shot. So this is about the Whittier family. It particularly follows Catherine Whittier, and Hellboy is going to go in here because she's just inherited the house. He's going to clear out any ghosts and spirits that may be lurking around. I'm guessing that they are present. All right, so this is our cover A, and this is the MIGNOLA cover B. Oh, I did want to take a second to mention, go follow us on Instagram. We're actually doing a giveaway for Hellboy right now. Our local film festival, the Chattanooga Film Festival, is hosting a giveaway with us in conjunction. We're giving away 2 tickets to the virtual Chattanooga Film Festival, and that is actually, it's virtual, so it is open to everybody, even you watching here right now. So go follow us on Instagram, find out more about it. The film festival is featuring a documentary on Mike Mignola called Mike Mignola Drawing Monsters. Super cool.
All right, so next up is a book called Behemoth, but it's not from the company Behemoth, it's from Black Caravan. So this girl wakes up one day and she starts turning into a monster. You can kind of see monster on the cover there. Well, the government puts her into a detention camp, and she discovers she's not the only one. Other people have started turning into monsters as well. So now it is up to her to try to retain some of her humanity while the government tries to turn these human monsters into living weapons. That's the premise. And it just has the one cover.
A lot of one covers. But you know that's not true for a Dynamite book, because this is Vampiverse, the Vamp. Or, yeah, the Vamp. Which, I mean, it does a very good job with the cover telling you what this is about. But from the spinning out from the Vampiverse, the big crossover, everybody's doing multiverses now. Vampirella is no exception. So this follows the Vamp, a crime-fighting noir-style version of Vampirella in the 1930s, going up against cults and all the creepiness, as you can probably see on the cover, probably involving some vampires. So if you are a fan of the noir or Vampirella, this is a great one. This is our A cover, and this really nice Garcia variant.
Next up from Antarctic Press is Catgirl. You may have seen her before in some of the issues of Exciting Comics. Now she's getting her own series with her own crew and own villains to conquer. So we have a couple covers here for you. This is our cover A and cover B. This one is actually a $9.99 variant, so don't get the variant. Don't order that. I don't know why they made it $10, but they did, so just be aware.
I must have some really good cover stock.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Crystal Planet, which is a 5-issue series. This is the cover number 1, and it is by legendary guitarist Joe Satriani. He's trading in his guitar pick and whammy bar for a quill and an inkwell.
Wow, I didn't know he was so classical in his
Oh yeah. I've been listening to Joe Satriani. I mean, not recently, but I mean, since the 90s.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, if you know guitar, you've probably heard of Joe Satriani. So he's writing this, and this is set in space where there are two warring factions who are fighting over the last remaining resources because they happen to orbit a dying star. So stars going supernova, you know, sort of end of the world stuff. Well, how can they solve this? How can anyone solve this? Joe Satriani's writing it, so it's through music and through the emotion that music brings. Somebody is going to try to bring peace to these people. So, yep, that is what Crystal Planet's about. 5-issue miniseries.
Also has a very cool style. It's very like Tron.
I see that for sure.
Type. So I looked at some preview pages and it looks really cool. Okay, next up is another one from Antarctic Press. And this is cool. We don't usually feature too much manga on here, but this kind of fit what we do. So this is Manga Z #1. It's going to be almost like an anthology style book full of different stories from demonic forces to flapper showgirls, elves, and so much more. If you're looking for some manga, but in comic style, this should be really cool. I like the anthology style for a lot of things.
So does that mean I get to read it like left to right? And
I'm not sure. I wonder if this is going to be... It says that it's manga themed. So I wonder if that's their way of saying like you read it left to right instead. But
yeah, I figured out manga long ago. I read the Old Boy. I liked the movie so much, the original. I read the manga, and that's where I got my first taste of it.
So you rented it?
I read it.
Oh, okay. I was like, where did you rent it? That's interesting.
So I did actually get it from the library, so in a way
Okay.
I did read it, but I said read.
True both ways.
All right, this is Niobe Origins. This is #1, obviously. Another one from Antarctic Press. It's about the character Niobe from the J-pop supergroup. They were performing in a mall. The supergroup was called the Geisha Dolls, and they were mobbed by fans, and that is when her powers manifested. So things got quite interesting for her, and we will get to find out more about those origins, more about what's going on with Niobe here in issue #1. And got a couple covers. This is cover A, and the Courtney Rose variant.
Never want to get mobbed by adoring fans. No. It's rough.
I mean,
okay, and our last #1 we're going to talk about is called The Oblivion Trials. This is going to be a 4-part series. So the story is there is a young boy, and he dies abruptly. It doesn't say how, but he has an abrupt death, and he comes to, and he meets a deity who takes him to this eternal place where he has to make a choice that's going to determine his fate forever. So that's all it says. I think that at least gives you sort of an angle of, you know, do you like afterlife stuff and those sorts of tales or not? So that's what's going on with the Oblivion Trial 4-issue miniseries from Black Caravan.
That main character has a cool look too. It's a good cover.
I think if you're talking about the guy in the background, I think that's probably the deity. So I think our main character is the falling person. Yeah. All right, so now we're going to get to cool covers and other comics. This is issues #2 and 3 of comics that maybe you read the first issue of and you might want to sign up for now. And it's also going to just be variants for ongoing series that we think are noteworthy and worth checking out.
Beginning with Batman Fortress #2. We don't want to miss this. This is by filmmaker, writer Gary Whitta. We just got #1 of this, I believe, this last week. So super cool. It's a Batman story, but also kind of a Where's Superman story. And there's aliens involved, everything. So in this, you're going to see the Justice League go up against the aliens.
So here's my question with this cover. Batman is in a jet, okay? And I'm sure he has a bat jet, but this kind of looks like he's just in a regular jet.
I think he's supposed to be in a regular jet.
That's just so different. That's pretty cool.
And here is the Zafino variant.
And next we have Captain America Sentinel of Liberty #2. I thought the #1 for this came out, but it has not. We've just got Symbol of Truth, which is the Sam Wilson Captain America series. This is the Steve Rogers. So definitely order this. Put it on your pull list if you want. This is the situation where #2s are going to sell out because the #1's not even here yet. It releases the 15th of this month. So #2 coming up here. We will find out what's going on with this series. This is the A cover. Then we have the Coelho Predator variant.
Yes, starting to get those
covers
Predator ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the Momoko cover.
Okay, so this is the main cover to Fortnite Marvel Zero War number 2. Number 1 actually comes out this week, so you have not missed that number 1 yet. This, of course, is the Fortnite universe colliding with the Marvel universe. It's going to include Iron Man. It's going to include Black Panther. It's going to include Spider-Man and many other characters as they go up against and possibly are helped by Fortnite characters. I don't know, because number 1 is not out yet. And of course, there's an unlockable code for digital cosmetics in Fortnite. So if you or someone that you know is into Fortnite, they're going to want the comic possibly for that reason. Back when DC did their Fortnite crossover, we were mobbed with people we had never seen before because they wanted those digital codes. So this is the regular cover. Here is the Medina cover, seemingly with Spider-Man doing a rendition of Amazing Fantasy 15 with, I think, probably somebody from Fortnite, perhaps. Here is the Ron Lim cover, and here is the Zulo variant to that.
Do you think anyone just offhand's going to make a reference to Batman in this? Just like, yeah, there was a guy here, he was trying to break out, he had pointy ears.
That would be pretty funny.
It'd be really funny if they mentioned that.
Yeah. So I will say, because the number 1's not out yet, usually when they make us retailers have to order the number 2, lock in our orders, as we'll have to do before that number 1 drops. These things don't get ordered enough. So if you want it, or you know people who might want the code, or you have multiple nephews and they're going to fight over it, definitely get your order in for this book.
Okay, next up is a Jane Foster Mighty Thor number 2, another one we don't have number 1 out for yet, but just in time for the new Thor movie, we have this kind of spotlighting Jane Foster, and it seems like Thor has gone missing, and Jane Foster and Odin actually are teaming up and going to meet with Dr. Voodoo to try to figure out where he's gone, and he seems to have been thrown into some interdimensional thing with a new threat coming from an interdimensional portal or something. So, very excited to read the number 1. The number 2 sounds really cool. So this is our Ryan Stegman cover. We have our Horley variant. We have our Yoon Predator variant. Fighting on the Rainbow Bridge. The Predator made it all the way there. And the Momoko variant.
I mean, I like Predator, but I'm sorry, he just seems outmatched on a lot of these covers. Like, how are you going to beat Thor?
All right, next up is Legion of X number 3. This is a Dodderman cover. When I saw Dodderman was doing something, I was like, oh, I want to see all the multiple versions. But no, this is just Havoc. I say this all the time, but for some reason, Havoc was voted like second most sexy male character on some lists. But I keep remembering that I can't get it out of my head. Anyway, Dodderman cover for Legion of X number 3.
All right, so here is the main cover to Deathstroke Inc. number 10. Based on what's happened lately with Shadow War, a lot of you may be wondering, how are they going to continue with Deathstroke Inc.? Something kind of big happened. Well, I'll tell you, what's interesting is this. So Slade Wilson, what turned him into Deathstroke? What things happened in his life where he went from a guy named Slade Wilson, which I think the name was part of it, to, Deathstroke, this incredible mercenary who could go hand to hand with Batman. Well, they're going to show you that story because this is a new storyline called Deathstroke Year 1. He's getting his Year 1 storyline. I really am looking forward to this. I think this is going to be very, very cool. So this is the main cover to it, and here is the Ivan Teo variant, which I'm getting some real Old Yeller vibes.
I just like the idea. He's young, and he's like, I do think blue goes with orange. People are like, you're crazy. And he's like, I'll show you. Okay, next up is Action Comics 1044. This is continuing the War World epic. Seems like Superman may have found a way to get some of his power back. But this is the Ian Churchill variant. Super cool. And we have the Charm Pride Month variant.
Alright, this is Aquaman number 5. A few different covers here to show you, actually. This is the Miko Suyan, cover B. This is the Pride Month variant by Joe Phillips. And the David Tulaski. Dang, he's got some muscles on him. For Aquaman number 5, a bunch of different covers to choose from. Wanted you to see them all.
That's from the Justice League calendar that they sell.
Yeah.
They took Jason Momoa and they added more muscles.
Yes, they did. And they gave him blonde hair.
Okay, so this is the Derek Chu variant, Harley Quinn, number 16. This is going to finally have the origin of Harley's new villain, The Verdict, whose identity was just revealed last issue. So now you're going to get to see how, like, why? Why are you this villain? Why are you doing all these terrible things? So again, this is the Chu variant, and here is the Olivier Coipel variant for Harley Quinn, number 16.
Next up is Robin, number 15. This is the DeMio variant, if you couldn't tell from all those glowing colors. But this is really interesting. In this issue, Robin, even though this is past Shadow War and all that, he's going back to Lazarus Island with Flatline seeking some answers. So we're not done with the Lazarus Island yet. And this is the DeMio cover. And then we have the Yoshi Pride variant.
And this is Swamp Thing at number 14 of 16, and just a really cool, this is the Steve Beach B cover. It looks like there are 2 eyes in his left eye. Just nothing
Fighting
creepier
for control.
Yeah. Plants versus humans. Very creepy.
Okay, here is the Daughterman variant for Amazing Spider-Man number 5. This is a Hellfire Gala cover. So Spider-Man's going less formal and more just really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of glowing hands and glowing on the feet and such. So a lot of things going on in this issue. There's going to be a major fight between Peter and Tombstone. And on top of that, this is actually Legacy Amazing Spider-Man number 899. So next issue is going to be 900. So they may squeeze something real important right at the end, some big cameo or something, just that, because 900 is going to be a very big issue that they're going to want to get a lot of things in. So this is the and this is also the end of the first story arc. Mm-hmm. So this will end that first story arc that began in issue 1. So this is the Daughterman variant, and here is the Mercado variant for Amazing Spider-Man number 5.
And wasn't it Elektra that gave him his Hellfire Gala suit from Elektra Black, White, and Blood at the end? I think she ended up giving him his suit to go to the Hellfire Gala.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I totally forget, because I know in the Moon Knight one, he was wanting Moon Knight's
it might have
outfit.
been the Moon Knight.
Yeah, the Mr. Knight outfit, but I think that was for something else.
He ends up getting that suit from one of those books, which is
Okay.
pretty funny. Okay, next up is Avengers Forever, number 7. Back, it feels like 2 years ago, they promised us this character, Somnus, was going to be a big character. We're kind of still waiting for him to show up, but it is nice for him to be on the Pride Month variant. And this issue says Steve Rogers wakes up in a prison, doesn't know how he got there, and in all the cells around him are other Steve Rogers. So it's like a pretty crazy tale. I'm looking forward to reading this one.
This is the Black Panther number 7 Durso Hellfire Gala variant. We were racking our brains with who this character was. Was it Dazzler? Who could it be? It is actually Captain Marvel featured on the cover here. So yes, Black Panther number 7 Hellfire Gala variant.
Okay, so this is the Baldian variant for Ghost Rider number 4. So as Johnny Blaze is traveling the countryside, going through all these little towns, they all just seem abandoned. He wonders where the people are. And meanwhile, Talia Warroad and the FBI are hot on his trail as a larger supernatural conspiracy begins to finally reveal itself. A lot of things kind of coming to head in this issue of Ghost Rider. So again, this is the Baldian Scroll variant. Then here is the Carlos Fortnite variant. No, that's not a new character or a new villain. That's just another Fortnite cover.
Fits, though.
I can see that. And then here is the Momoko variant for Ghost Rider number 4.
This is Sabretooth number 5. This is the final issue of the Sabretooth miniseries. This is the Momoko variant. And we also have a wolf variant. Oh, so cool and creepy and awesome.
Yep, this is what nightmares are made out of.
Okay, next up we have Star Wars Halcyon Legacy number 4 of 5, issue before the last. This one is going to see Lando and Hondo Ohnaka team up, or not necessarily team up, they're both on the Halcyon because there is a rare treasure being transported, or someone on the trip has it, and they're both very interested in it. So it sounds really fun. This is our A cover. We have our lambing cover. And then we have our slimy connecting variant.
All right, so this is the regular cover to What If Miles Morales number 5. This is the last issue of this whole series. And in this, the various Miles of the multiverse, who you see on the cover there, have to come together to stop something that threatens all of the multiverse. So this is a regular cover, and then here is the Christopher action figure variant.
And this is Carnage number 4, a really cool Nakayama variant. Wanted to show you.
Yep, Carnage proven he doesn't have to use his legs. He could use all his tendrils to get around.
Gross. Okay, then we have Spawn, the Scorched, number 7. This is going to focus on Jessica Priest, a very cool Spawn character. Great A cover. And then check out the Matina variant with Medieval Spawn. Just knocking out of the park with all the Spawn covers.
All right, and now the last segment of our show, other printings and graphic novels, beginning with Black Manta. So this is going to collect Black Manta 1 through 6, the miniseries from several months back, and it also collects the short comic that was in Aquaman's 80th anniversary special.
Yeah.
So all that together, because that was sort of the precursor that led into the Black Manta series. And it is $16.99.
And next up is Brightest Day Omnibus. This one's super cool. So, of course, Brightest Day followed Blackest Night, where 12 dead heroes and villains were resurrected, and they are on a journey to figure out why they were brought back. This collects issues 0 through 24 for $100.
And now we have the Gwenpool Omnibus. Gwenpool is the super fan turned superhero. She basically is able to manipulate the comic she appears in with her vast comic book knowledge and fact that she knows she is in a comic. So this collects a ton of stuff, including Gwenpool, Unbelievable Gwenpool 1 through 25, some stuff with Rocket Raccoon, Howard the Duck. It's a huge book, covers a lot of ground. This is the Bachalo Direct Market variant, and this is the Girihiru variant.
All right, so Marvel is releasing Wolverine Omnibus hardcover volume 3. So this isn't like, his number ones or anything. This is further in, but this is 1,264 pages, not dollars, pages, for just $125. See, you start at a high number, then you bring it to a low number, makes it sound a little more affordable. This is when Larry Hama and Mark Silvestri were basically doing all the Wolverine stuff at Marvel. So this is going to include Wolverine, his original series, issues 31 through 59, back from 1988. It's going to include a lot of Marvel Comic Presents, I think issues 85 to 108. And then a whole lot of other sort of early 90s appearances of Wolverine. Enough to add up to the 1,264 pages.
Yeah.
So great for the Wolverine collector who wants to have it all together and not have to seek out all these individual issues.
Yeah, it's a very popular time, and this is a Jim Lee cover.
Yes, this is the Jim Lee cover. You have 2 others to choose from, but, the Jim Lee one, that's a pretty strong choice. Yeah. Here's the Omin cover. And then lastly, here's the Mark Silvestri cover.
Some classic brown suit Wolverine. Really cool. Okay, and then we have the Star Wars Legends Epic Collection. This is volume 7. But you didn't miss anything with not getting 1 through 6. They collect different things. So this actually collects Boba Fett is Dead 1 through 4 and Blood Ties 1 through 4. Those both go together, and they were written by Tom Taylor, who you probably didn't know that he worked on Star Wars for a little while. Really cool stories. Then we have Empire 1 through 4, great series, and a lot more like stuff from Star Wars Tales and various other books around the time, and this is $44.99.
And then we have a couple second printings coming up. This is Hulk number 7. This is the Cocolo second print. This is Banner of War Part 3 also. And speaking of, this is Thor number 25 second printing. Same artist. This is Part 2 of the Banner War. Yes. So in case you missed these for some reason, here they are again.
You got that Iron Man celestial armor on the cover. It's cool.
All right, and that is our Comics from the Future show for this week.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you found any of this helpful, please take a second to like this video, comment. That really helps us out a lot. And please subscribe if you would like to see future videos. We do this video, and Andy and Jason do a review show every Tuesday. I'm doing a Whatnot show tonight with some Silver Age Spider-Man, so please, if you have the time, check it out. And we will see you next week on Comics from the Future.
Also, we do our Tuesday show on Monday.
Yes, that's right. It's on Monday now, even earlier.
All right, we'll see you next time.